Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. They said a dog with a bone in his mouth cannot bite. We are hearing another report right now that Ebony's mom cried. It is unfair to allow your wives treat themselves like this. Hey! Okay, we also heard that, in response to that cry, the father to the Ooni of Ife said yes. So right now it is unfair because it is Ebony. When Queen Naomi was being treated the same way, nobody saw it as unfair. How unfair can this unfair be? Okay, before I continue, I'd like to give a very warm shout out and hug to these people who are channel members to this channel. I'm talking about Hi Bello Adetayo, Kehinde Adeniyi, Mommy Abe, the very mommy, okay? Busy B, Mommy Elizabeth Ogunrede, Taiwo Ali Balogun. I don't know if we have more members. If I've not mentioned you, I'm going to go there today to look at, how to call you. I'm giving you a shout out. I am opening my hands and I am giving you all a hug. I am saying thank you. I am saying a sheo. I am saying adukbeo. I am very grateful from the depth of my heart. I love you guys. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for contributing to this channel. Thank you people so much. I know that there are other things I'm supposed to do. I'm planning them and trying to construct them the way I'm supposed to do it for you guys. It's time has been my greatest challenge, okay? Thank you so much. Now, as we are hearing, the said Ebony mom has come out to cry that it is unfair for Kabiyesi to allow his wives treat themselves the way they are doing. For Kabiyesi to allow his wives to fight each other, to quarrel with each other and all of that. Now, they said Ebony's mom spoke up because of the circumstances that the daughter found herself in the UK. But then you do know that Dr. Elizabeth never brought the fight to her. She took the fight to Dr. Elizabeth. Now, the last time we checked, the Prime Rose Hill home was bought by the Ooni of Ife and Dr. Elizabeth. And we also got an information that even the private jet that, they flew to the UK is the same private jet that belongs to the Ooni of Ife and Dr. Elizabeth. Now, sometime last year, I think, was it early last year or late last 2 years? I'm not sure. Again, when they got married to all of these women, Ooni of Ife had a private jet. The private jet, was working for a very long time. And you do know with private jet, when it begins to get old, and you work on it the first time, the second time, the third time, people become really skeptical about flying in such private jets. And now, before the value depreciate, the wise thing would be for you to sell it off back to the company where they can use the components to do other private jets or other things. And so you retrieve your money or add money to get a newer one. So at some point, if you have been following the trend of the Ooni of Ife, you find out that sometime last year, even when he went to Brazil with his wives, the other time there was this, uproar on social media with the way the wives traveled and all of that. Remember, Ooni of Ife went with, public flights, okay? Even though, of course, on a first class and all of that, but it wasn't a private jet. So sometime early last year, he was flying public flights. But then again, when Dr. Elizabeth Jack Rich, that happens to be Ooni of Ife's adopted daughter, that one, they have a lot of money. The lady is married to an oil mongo. The man who contested wants to become the president of Nigeria, but did not make it. They have a very good private jet. As we speak right now, they have exchanged the private jet they had last year for another one again. So anytime their private jet is free, Kabiyesi will travel with or in their private jet, okay, paying the pilot. But when the private jet is not free, Kabiyesi will use. That was after Kabiyesi, sold off his own private jet back to the company. So we heard Allegedly, as it is rumored and reported and speculated, and as Nobi Mitokamli, we heard that when all of this drama with, him marrying all of those wives, later Dr. Elizabeth, developed cold feet, saying she wasn't sure, she wasn't doing again. And later Miriam, Ikbi, thought that she wanted to get at Queen Naomi, went and prepared everything for Dr. Elizabeth to come. Dr. Elizabeth came, unfortunately turned against the Ikbi herself. Now, when Dr. Elizabeth stated the way she would want to be married, she wanted marriage poster and all of that, Ooni of Ife prepared a grand marriage for Dr. Elizabeth. Why? Because Dr. Elizabeth happens to be that one wife that has never been married before. It was a fresh marriage, like she's never been married before, and that was why her marriage was so different, because Ooni wanted her to feel that which a woman feels when they marry her. So while she was in the palace, they were supposed to make a first trip to Brazil, and they were preparing to go. That's Dr. Elizabeth and the Ooni of Ife. Remember when they were supposed to do their honeymoon, because Dr. Elizabeth had demanded for a honeymoon, and that honeymoon actually took place in Brazil. And they were supposed to go to Brazil, and Dr. Elizabeth Jack Ritchie's private jet was not available. At that time, KBS's private jet had already been returned back to the company and money retrieved, okay? And so Dr. Elizabeth, the one, as in Dr. Lizzie now, she's got very serious phobia for flight, okay? And so she is more comfortable when the flight is a personal flight. And so she said that KBSC can, bring resources so they can put resources together to acquire another private jet. Now, Dr. Elizabeth has a lot of money. She may not be showing it, but I think she is the richest wife of the Ooni of Ife. Why? Dr. Elizabeth is an IT expert. Dr. Elizabeth has doctorate in one IT field. She has lots of apps. You see these apps that we use on our phones. From what we are hearing, that Dr. Elizabeth has up to 11 apps, as in big time apps. Big time apps, not the apps that they are fixing for 10 million or 20 million, big time apps, okay? Dr. Elizabeth has them, up to 11 apps to her name. She has a very big IT conglomerate in Switzerland. Do you understand? So she's got mega dough. And so she had to put resources together with the Ooni of Ife so they can acquire a new private jet. Remember, Ooni had sold off his private jet and, retrieved the money. So Dr. Elizabeth brought down a proposition that KBSC should use that money and let her add her own money so they can go to the same company and acquire a new private jet. And they said that happens to be the private jet that KBSC and Dr. Elizabeth own right now. And that is the private jet they have been using to travel. Now, you see, this private jet is different from the private jet that belonged to the Ooni of Ife. The other private jet that you saw, was it? No, that one was not a private jet. I think that was an helicopter where we saw that like the Badmus that time. Maybe that was an helicopter or something. I don't know. So now, when this whole thing happened, Ebony was infuriated over the fact that Ooni of Ife was headed towards UK and carried Dr. Lizzie, and she had to go in a public plane. And also the fact that Dr. Elizabeth did not allow her into the Prime Rose Hills house in the UK. And that was what happened. And they said it was a very serious wahala. And, that made her to cry. She broke down like she was completely broken. That is Ebony. So right now, the mother is coming out to say, look, you cannot allow your wives treat themselves this way. And they say Ooni of Ife's father is saying, how is it possible that you feel the need to talk about this now, something that you have never done? When everything was going on with Naomi, you people were blowing fire. It was okay because it was Naomi, and now because it's your daughter, it is not fair. How unfair can this be? That is what we are hearing. If this information is true, this is what we are hearing. I'm not going to let this video get too long. I'm going to give you more update. I appreciate you. Do not forget, these are all alleged, rumored, speculated information making the rounds on social media. I always say to Dela Right, whatever information you get on social media, you want to take it with a pinch of salt.